Are you ready? Stand by.
All right, I want to talk to y'all today about snap caps. Now, I'm just grabbing some stuff before I sit down at the table here.
I wasn't ready! I wasn't ready!
Snap caps. So, if any of you are serious about training or practicing or just trying to get better, one of the things that you'll have to do a lot of is dry firing. Right, and depending on what kind of firearm you're dry firing with, snap caps are always a good thing to have. It's also, there's a lot of different uses for training purposes for it. It's you can have it to soften the blow of the firing pin on a hammer fired gun, so you can actually dry fire that. There's the ability to simulate malfunctions, so you can practice what you do in a malfunction, your tap, rack, and rolls. You can actually even bring these into your live fire training by loading a magazine. You know, just load your magazine with some live ammo and then throw one of these in there so you can simulate that malfunction live. Now, the thing about snap caps is that this is the typical snap cap here. All right. Not sure exactly what that metal is, but it's plastic, it's really light, and if I load all of these, I've got them in sets of 5, so I lost one. There's 14 here. If I load all of these into a magazine, it's going to be significantly lighter than if I loaded 14 live ammunition into here. Now, it might not necessarily come into play too much if you're just using it for malfunction training, or you're just using it to have it soften the blow of the firing pin on a hammer fired weapon. But if you're somebody that's training for like competitions,
Are you ready? Stand by.
training for like the speed of your draw, or just even getting used to the weight of the weapon, the weight's really significant. So introducing these real weight dummy rounds from SnapPoint USA. So full disclosure, I did purchase the blue set of these, and the owner sent me the orange set. Reached out to him, asking him if I can have a second set to create this video, and he sent it over along with a prototype of an item that I'll get to in a minute here. But for those of you that aren't familiar with just the types of rounds that are out there, there is an ammunition out there. There's a manufacturer that does have blue tips, right? And I'll find the name of that ammunition and put it somewhere around here. But these are not it. These are all the dummy rounds. All right, you can see with the blue quote-unquote primer, where the primer would be. These are all dummy rounds. Props to the owner, or SnapPoint USA, because this was actually the first kind that they offered, and it didn't even have these plastic backings where the primer would be prior. But he got feedback that somebody got confused between live rounds and this dummy round, and that their hammer-fired weapon is when their springs are getting worn, because there's nothing that's stopping the firing pin from going too far forward, since there's nothing in here. So they created some plastic fillers for the old versions that didn't have a primer spot, something in the primer, and he also created the orange versions of these. Now, they come in 9mm and I believe 45 ACP. I'm not sure what the grain on the 45 is, but the 9mm comes in 115, 124, and 147 grain, the most common ones that are out there. I personally shoot 124 grain, so I asked for 124 for both of them. And I'm just going to do a quick weight comparison for you all here. Let me just pull out I don't have any firearms around me at this moment, because I do have, let me just check the camera and make sure you can see the numbers here. All right. Let me go ahead and zero out the container. I do have live rounds on me, and the purpose of that is because I want to measure and compare the weights. So let's just start with, first of all, 14 of the plastic. Of the plastic typical snap cap dummy rounds. It's going to be 2.4 ounces. All right, now let's just set that aside. Make sure this is zeroed again. Perfect. Now I'm going to put in 14 live rounds. 4. 3 more is 7. 3 more is 10. And 4 more is 14. That's going to come to about 6 ounces. I'm writing these down. That's why I'm grabbing this notepad here. But for you guys, I'll keep track of it along the side here. Now that I've done that, give me 1 second while I put these on a different table. Alright, zeroed out the container again, and I'm going to grab 14 of these, just wanted to also highlight, that's why I put this here. These come in sets of 20. These came in sets of 5 for like $7 each. Sets of 20 for these, and I'll put what the pricing is. Don't have it off the top of my head right now. But we're going to go ahead and put in 14 of the blue 124 grain, and those rounds were 124 grain CCI Blazer Brass. FMJs 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, 6 ounces. Real weight. Then we're going to do it with the orange again, zeroed out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 5.9, 5.8, 5.9, 5.8. 0.2 ounces off. I'm not going to get mad about 0.2 ounces being off. All right, so I mean, this is a legit thing to have with practicing. And now if you're somebody that's practicing from the draw, it's always good. Let me actually let me do it with this one. Let me grab the gun. I'll be right back. All right, so I got my Canic rifle here, clear. If I have this or any EDC weapon, this is not my EDC weapon. This is my first competition gun, but it's just one that was closest to me. If I have this or any EDC weapon and I'm training to speed of getting that draw, whether it's appendix or whether it's from the outside waistband 3 o'clock hip carry, and if I'm training to speed and I'm getting pretty quick at it, but I'm doing it with an empty magazine, is that, you know, when I get faced with a full magazine with full on weight ammo, how much is that going to slow me down? How much is it going to throw me off when I'm carrying it? So just the idea of having dummy rounds that are real weight as actual rounds that you would have in your gun when you're using it, it's good training to have. You train like you fight.
Train like you fight.
Otherwise, you're not really, you know, getting everything you can out of that training. So yeah, and then even the oranges have the orange backs. And that's it. This is a great product. I mean, check it out. I will again talk about I'll look up the prices and stuff. Give me 1 second. Now I was actually going to load these in a magazine for you to see the weights, but I think doing it this way is pretty clear on the benefits of having this compared to these. When I did the math, it's actually a lot even more cost effective than these. These were cheap ones that I got off of Amazon, and buying these cheap ones off Amazon in sets of 5 is more expensive than these. Alright, so there's actually another product he's working on that he sent to me that isn't available yet, and I'm gonna have some feedback for him on these. Alright, so I can go ahead share it with you here. It is, I don't know exactly what he's calling this yet, and I know there's other ones that are out there that exist, something like this, but this one I don't know what he's calling this yet. But the idea behind this, alright, is that you load it into your magazine, again for dry fire training purposes. Here is my magazine that doesn't have it in there. I'm going to remove this. When you have an empty magazine and you're dry firing, you're training, you pull the trigger, and to reset the trigger you have to rack the slide. If you happen to fully rack the slide with an empty magazine, it locks it back every time. So you're either pulling the trigger, maybe half cocking it to whatever, just to reset the trigger. But if you have one of these not followers, I forget what they're calling this thing.
The deep sigh.
I forget what they're calling this thing. It's not like a follower. I don't know what it is, but
You're having a brain fart. Look.
you have one of these things in the magazine. When you rack it the side, it will not hold it open. So that way you can just continue your dry firing, racking the slide every time. Some of the issues that I have with this that I'm going to give him feedback on is that I have to use it without any bullets in here, which kind of defeats some of my training, right? Because I would love to have the 20 rounds for the weight and this on top. The problem is the way it's built right now, and maybe I don't know what kind of changes he can make to it, but when I have 20 rounds here on a compressed spring and this on top, and I practice reloads, every time I drop the mag, the spring and the weight pops this thing out and it goes flying. I don't have that problem when the mag is empty. The spring tension isn't as high. But when I'm practicing reloads, oh, and of course, I can't believe I didn't mention that. That's another great reason. That's why I got 40, because when I'll have 20 in here, 20 in the gun, and then I'm practicing reloads, practicing the weight, and making sure again.
Train like we fight like we
train. Yeah.
But that's the purpose behind it. It's a great idea. I just, wish I'd be all right. He gave me 3 of these. I've lost one already because one flew out when I did a mag change, dropped the magazine, hit the floor. I have no idea where it went. But yeah, that's it for this SnapPoint USA. I'll put some info down somewhere on the screen, but go ahead and check them out. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, comment, subscribe if you like the video. Ooh, that light's, hang on. There we go. Let me hold it up for y'all. That's much better. Comment if you have any questions. If you have any questions or you want to see any other things you want to see, subscribe, like, share, all the good stuff. I'd really appreciate it. And other than that, take care, everybody. Y'all have a good one. Thanks for watching.